go to Laura Ingraham. They are attempting now, the Republicans, as more and more testimony comes out, and it becomes clear that what Donald Trump is accused of, basically, call it extortion, you call it bribery, more or less the same thing. Extortion is forcing someone to do something by some form of coercion. Bribery is compelling someone to do something by giving them something that they want. And it becomes harder and harder for the Republicans to deny what happened. So what do? Well, you start to deny that what happened is even illegal in the first place. Okay, yeah, he offered him a bribe, but so what? That's not necessarily illegal. Or at the very least, like, it didn't work. You cannot convict somebody who goes in to rob a bank if they get caught in the middle of it and they don't get the money, right? Well, actually, that's wrong. That's called attempted bank robbery, which is also illegal. Here is Laura Ingraham, who surely knows this, but she comes armed with a graphic of the first three words of the Constitution, so maybe she's right.
Okay, here's the problem. Yeah, of course, Nancy, it's in the Constitution. We can read, okay? President may be impeached for bribery, treason, or high crimes and misdemeanors. But even assuming the Democrats' strained and ridiculous interpretation of the facts, and I do not assume them, but just for the sake of their argument, attempted bribery isn't in the Constitution. Remember, Ukraine got its military aid. It was 14 days delayed. Big deal. And remember, Ukraine never made any public statement about any investigation. And the fellow on the other end of the call, Zelensky, said he didn't feel pressured at all. He didn't even know aid was frozen to his country until weeks later. So the call, in his words, was normal. So it's another swing and a miss. But that's okay. That's okay, because Democrats think they're cats. They have 9 political lives when it comes to impeachment. So if the country's tuning them out, and they were tuning them out, well, it's only because their star witnesses lack a certain je ne sais quoi.
Oh, that was her way of saying there's no pizzazz. Can we get that all that jazz music in the background here so I can explain to Laura Ingraham that, well, first off, what she was saying, there was a lot of lies to it. One of them was that it was held up only for 14 days.
What's 14 days in military time?
Right, exactly. Who needs that when you're being attacked? Who needs that 14 days? I mean, honestly, like, it probably could have saved a couple of lives. The other thing is, we know why this was released. The money was released ultimately. It's because the Democrats started an investigation that was supported by Republican senators at the time who were wondering what the hell's going on. We also know that, according to Kent, the U.S. diplomat, who was asked in testimony the other day, would the Ukrainians lie about not knowing about it because they would be afraid to upset Donald Trump, who's still the United States president? Yes, they would. And I spoke to a Ukrainian reporter the other day who said the exact same thing to me. Like, of course, can't say anything. What are you going to do? These guys, they're desperate. They need help from the U.S. government. They can't go out there and in any way criticize Trump. Not at all. But nevertheless, make the point. You get arrested in the middle of a bank heist, even though you don't steal the money. Guess what? Still a crime. You fire your gun at someone trying to kill them. They don't realize you're doing it, but somebody else knows and says that person attempted murder. Guess what? Still a crime.
Hearsay.
And these things don't need to be proven in the same way that a crime does, because it's not a criminal proceeding. It is a political one. that is called for in the Constitution. So how's that for some French? There you go. We tried to wrap that up in perfect all that jazz pizzazz.